Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's August the 3rd, 2026. I'm Andrew Lacey, and welcome. Hold on tight, fasten your seatbelts. And while I'm kind of laying out this morning's call, I'm probably going to go over 30 minutes, or I'm just going to have to stop halfway through. But be thinking right now, and click on, let everybody be on so most people can't unmute themselves. So I don't know if you can unmute everybody. But I'd like to start with a aha moment this morning. The aha is, how many of you last week got callbacks for an appointment? How many of you got callbacks for an appointment last week? Please click on and share.
I did.
Okay. Anybody?
Andrew, I did. I got 3 callbacks one day last week, and 2 of those callbacks wanted me to send over the listing paperwork.
That breaks my heart. So let's keep continuing, then I'll fill in the blanks. Anybody else?
I got 2 callbacks, Andrew, and 1 listing.
2 callbacks and 1 listing from callbacks. Anybody else?
Yes, sir.
This is Jan. I got 4 callbacks and 2 appointments.
Congratulations. And y'all are in the same office. Do you ever
Yes,
thank
sir.
Diane? Do you ever thank Diane for introducing me to you 6 months ago, 7 months ago?
Every day.
You thank her every day. Thank you, Jan. Jan has been in real estate 8 years. And let me share something with everybody that's in the sound of my voice. 8 years in real estate. I love people that's been in real estate 8 years or more because they've seen everything, they've heard everything. And when they finally meet me, they go, oh my gosh, this is it. This is it. And it is. And I told her, I said, you will learn more in 1 year than you learned in 8 years. And see, we're going to talk today about learning. Anybody else?
Marie here. I got 3 callbacks last week, all for appointments.
All for appointments. Anybody else?
Andrew, this is Layla, and I got a call back last week and expired $450,000.
Congratulations. You're not ever going to get a call back if you don't call someone. Okay. You're not going to get a call back if you don't call someone. Duh. There's what percentage of the United States are not calling people? Where there's 84% of the realtors in the United States hadn't had a closing this year. That's 84%. I guarantee you aren't calling somebody. 8 out of every 10 agents in the United States hadn't had a closing. Y'all average 50 closings a year. There's a difference because you've got to call someone. Secondly, you have to learn to leave a great message. Now, before the call started, I was listening to music. Do you think when I call somebody, I'm up, or do you think I'm down? Do you think I'm excited, or do you think I'm depressed? Do you think my expectations to get an appointment or to not get an appointment? See, your attitude, your approach, and expectations have so much to do with what you're going to get. I'm going to send this out. We're going to probably put it in a short on YouTube. And if you're not subscribing, you need to subscribe. Let me encourage you to subscribe. But how to communicate effectively is the first chapter of the book called The Clock. How to communicate effectively. Calling one person at a time. Leaving one message at a time. See, today, the average person does robo-dialing. Wrong. The average person never leaves a message. That's why the average number of closings in the United States was 8. Which is a good segue to, I asked 2 people on Friday to send me their last 12 or 13 years in real estate with me. And I wanted to kind of give you a visual this morning if I could. So here on my board, I have Marie and Jody, and they're both in the same marketplace. They're in the same market. They're in a market of less than 300,000 people. I was in a market of 240,000 people. And I had 163 closings one year. I had 258 closings one year. I had 312 closings my last full year in real estate. I had a 10% market share. You know, it's called the Lacey way. If you quit doing your way and the way other people tell you, your way of having money is going to change completely. It's going to completely change. So somebody, Austin, read this right. What does it say?
Marie 2007.
Say, give 4 closings when I met her. And she would come to closing. She couldn't be in the program. She would come to closing. She would come to a program every time I was in Greenville. She couldn't travel because she had no money. She couldn't afford to be in coaching. But she had 4 closings and how many?
9.
And then how many?
11.
And then how many?
19.
And then how many?
17.
And then how many?
29.
Okay. And then how many?
34.
And then how many?
38.
Okay.
20.
Okay.
Oh,
Where does it, Marie, when did you join coaching? 2013? 12? Marie?
2012.
2012. How many closings you have in 2012?
29.
29. So that's when she started. So the average number of closings before she got completely immersed, engaged, involved, doing what I say, following the Lacey way, she would average 12 closings a year. Okay. Now, over here is Jody Can. He had 7 closings, 9 closings, 10 closings, 10, 5, and then 14, then
36.
So Jody was averaging 8 or 9 closings a year before he met me. So one was averaging 12 and one was averaging 9. But as you see over the next so many years, read these numbers. 44.
You got 36.
Okay.
54.
54.
75.
75.
86.
86.
90.
Hut. Oh, I'm sorry. Football. Okay, continue.
92.
Okay.
And 111.
111. Okay. There was a couple of years where Marie went down, but there was a year her son was having problems in school, so she had to focus on helping her son work out his problems at school. It wasn't a problem child. He just wasn't focused. It's kind of like most agents. You're not focused. That's when you have problems. If you're focused and you do the right thing, see, he went to school every day, but he wasn't focused and he was getting behind in his grade. Well, you're behind on your bills because you're not focused and doing the right homework. So let's flip over. Now, start here.
66.
66 closings,
80.
80,
82.
82,
69.
69,
83.
83,
69.
69,
50.
50. And for the last 7 years, Marie has increased her income every year. You know, let me go over here to Jody and I'm going to tell y'all something. Here.
118.
Okay.
117.
Okay.
121.
Okay.
100.
Okay.
76.
Okay.
76. And
Okay.
59.
And even though he had 76 closings, he made as much money as he did 100. He just changed his price point. You know, Marie makes $400,000 a year for the last 4 years, but her average sales price is around $200,000 or $250,000. You people that's got a $400,000, a $600,000, $800,000 price point, you could do half as many closings and make twice as much money, but you're not as consistent as her. What these 2 people have done, let me finish. So the next thing I have is Marie's name, and she averaged 12 closings a year before getting involved with the Lacey way. And Jody had 9 closings, does it say 9?
Yes.
9 closings, and he's averaged 89 closings a year. So let's stop right here and talk about that. Oh, my chair's here somewhere. And for those who may not know it, I'm not joking around. I'm actually blind. But I get around well to be blind. You know, I may not have physical sight, but I truly have the insight to changing your life. And that's every person I meet. So why are they continually increasing in their income? Why? The steps that they take. Just the basic steps of getting dressed professionally and come to work. The steps to come to work. The steps to be proactive. The steps to follow up. The steps to get better at their presentation. The steps to, you know, people think, well, one day I don't need Andrew. Yeah, you don't have to have Andrew. But Andrew has not ever finished with anybody. I have 2 people that have been in the program 21 years. One of them's already made $1 million this year. The other one's made $700,000 this year. See, they've taken more steps following the Lacey way than anyone else. Their income isn't going to go down. It's not going to go flat as long as they take that next step that I tell them. Their business is going to go up. You can have a slump. Everyone has slumps. I'm here to help you to get over your slumps quickly. Most people get in a slump. They get in a slump for 60, 90, 120 days. Some people get in a slump for 2 or 3 years. But by me being in your life, one thing that I'm going to do is call you and say, let's go forward. Let's get back up. Let's keep going. Let's not quit. So the aha here is, here's 2 people in a market of less than 300,000 and their number, and they don't have a team. As individuals, they're like number 1, 2, or 3 in their board. They're always in the top 5. In teams, they're in the top 20. And this board has 1,200 teams. They're outproducing 1,180 teams because of the Lacey way, guys. It's because there's a way to do things. Now, if I can, let me stand back up here. The second part of the call today is to help you to understand. Is this the sheet that says learn?
Yes.
Okay. You know, a lot of you on the weekends go picnicking, go to different things, watch different things. I spend the weekend writing things. And you know, I get up to teach people. But to teach, I have to still get better. So I want to share with you how life is. It's called learn, earn, and teach. Is that right? Learn, do, or teach, learn, earn. Learn, do, teach. So can you imagine 0 to 30 is when you're learning. 30 to 60 is when you're earning. And 60 to 7 is when you are a master, a pro, or a teacher. See, now, let's say you're 50 and you're still not earning. Well, maybe it's because you didn't learn. I had the perfect storm. My dad, every day of my life from 0 to 18, was teaching me, telling me about life, telling me about different things. He was a common sense person. He only had an 8th grade education, but he may have been one of the smartest men I ever knew about life. And this one, when you go to my Google review or you go to my website and people say, Andrew's a real estate coach, but he's more of a life coach. That's because I'm giving them the life lessons my dad gave me. But I've also learned, I can remember people, I hate to talk bad about Tom Selleck. I love Tom Selleck. But Tom Selleck years ago did a commercial, says it was for AIG or somebody about reverse mortgages. Well, anything that's reverse is not good, but it's a reverse mortgage. You can take out, we're not going to take your home. We're here to make you more comfortable. You don't have to make the payment. And you can go and do all the things you want to do. And you don't have to pay us back. And I said, after I saw that commercial, because of my gift of discerning, I said, they actually are there to get your home. And by me continuing to learn, see, I learned still at 67. These things that I teach you so many times are things I've just learned. Because I'm not looking at the internet. I'm not looking at a dog on a skateboard. I'm not looking at some guy falling out of a tree. I'm not looking at this or that. I'm not watching sports. I'm trying to get engaged in what I hear that is true and I can share with you the truth. You know, most people don't want to hear the truth when I tell them the truth. But that's something I'm going to do more of than the last 10, 15, 20 years of my life, is to share the truth on life and in business. But Marie, you're on the call. So Marie's in-laws passed away and they had a reverse mortgage and they were trying to get the payoff and the AIG wouldn't give it to them. And they had to have the house paid off in 30 days. They had to pay them back or they was going to get the equity. So because of hearing me talk about AIG a year or two earlier, they got a lawyer, he sent them a letter, and they sent the payoff. But if they hadn't have done that, if she hadn't have had that life information, how much money would your husband and his siblings lost out on?
They would have lost $100,000. That would have been AIGs. Yep.
See, we're not here to get your home. Guys, you got to be careful who you listen to. You know, it sounds good, doesn't mean it's good. You know, it probably doesn't sound good that you got to be consistent each day and come to work. It doesn't probably sound good that you got to get better. It doesn't sound good probably you need to follow a daily schedule. It doesn't sound good you need to master my scripts. But it's priceless. So 0 to 30, my first 18 years, I had my dad. My next 4 years, I had the United States Marine Corps. Do you think they taught me anything? Self-discipline, self-confidence, self-motivations? That I could accomplish anything? Do I tell people when I meet them, listen, I'm not going to come up to and tell you you can be great if you can't. And I do have that gift. I won't say you'll be great. I'll just say, how are you doing? How's everything? How long have you been in real estate? I'm not going to encourage you if I do not feel that you're capable. I don't need the money. I get up every day to try to help you become financially secure, financially more money than you ever thought you would have. You know, Maria's made 1.6 million. Jody's made 5 million. Before I met Jody, in 5 years, he'd had 55 closings. And the last 12 years, he's had 1,150 closings. Why? Because he listened and took the steps necessary to go to the next level and the next level. He's already had 60, Jody on the call? He had an appointment at 11:30, so he may not be on the call. But he's already had 60 closings this year. Marie's already had 50. Her average is 52. But see, it took her steps to go from 12 to 20 to 30 to 40. And now she's between 70 and 80. And she's
Yeah, Andrew, I'm here.
Jody, how many closings you had this year?
59.
59. I was one off. Do you want to add anything about what I've said? Can you add anything or just, you don't?
I think the numbers tell it all, Andrew. And I mean, you know, when I met you and look, when I kind of got away from you, it went down. When I come back, it's going back up again. So I think the numbers just say everything.
They do. Now, see, those two people, Marie is the most consistent about following the daily schedule and doing the things that I say. Jody is the master of my scripts and dialogues. I don't think there's anyone better at getting an appointment, getting a listing, negotiating a sale. He has mastered the scripts and dialogues. Guys, you don't need to master the internet. You don't need to master the website. You don't. That's passive, waiting for people to come to do business with you. You've got to be proactive. You've got to make the phone ring. You've got to call somebody. You've got to learn to leave a message that people will call you back. And someone wrote the scripts, and he sits right here. So, you know, so 0 to 30. So from 18 to 22, I was in the Marine Corps. I learned to delegate as I became over Camp David, half the Marines at Camp David. So I teach you how to delegate. I teach you how, my uniform had to be immaculate. I teach you how to dress professionally. So from 0 to 18, I learned common sense things. From 18 to 22, I learned Marine Corps, how to be a professional, how to never give up, how to never quit. And from 22 to 30, I had the best broker, Jack Newton. And if we didn't come to work, he called and said, "Is everything okay?" So I came to work every day. When's the last time your manager called you and said, "Are you okay? We haven't seen you today"? That's not the manager's fault. That's the real estate. That's our fault, because now we get all the money and they're just getting that $16,000 or $18,000 or how much desk cost is. No matter if you come in or don't come in, you got a desk cost. See, when I sold real estate, it was a 50-50 split. He invested in me because it was helping him. I get up to help you each day. You invest in me, that same amount you make pay desk costs. But a lot of people pay desk costs and don't make a dime. These two people, one of them was making around $100,000, the other one was making about $22,000 when I met them. Now one of them makes $700,000 and one of them makes $450,000. It's a pretty good return. So from 22 to 30, my broker told me how to dress professionally, how to show up. You know, when I talk about being on time, that's a Marine Corps thing. When you're 10 minutes early, you're on time. When you're on time, you're late. Do you know how many people show up late for my programs? You know how many people show up late for a presentation? It's sad. There's people that you will go see, and if you're late, I don't care how great your presentation is, they're not going to list with you. But do we have a script for being late? Yes. It's that one more step that you have. That's one more thing in your arsenal to make you the best. The best. So from 30 to 60, you go out and do. You take what you've learned. Now see, a lot of people are not as fortunate as me. They have not learned about life. They have not learned because it wasn't in the service. They didn't learn those groups of things that I learned. They didn't have a broker that taught them how to have a business and run a business and become successful. See, my 0 to 30 is I was taught. I learned. 30 to 60, I earned. I went from less than 31, at 31, I was making less than $50,000 a year. 4 years later, I was making $1 million a year. So you earn, but you can't earn unless you go out and do the right things. And unfortunately, so many people have been taught to be negative, to give up, to quit, that they're not worthy, that they don't deserve it. So see, some people, I have to teach them in their 30s because they were not taught as a child, or they were not taught as a teenager, or they were not with the right people when they went into business. It's priceless. I have a young man that's my intern, but he decided he was going to work for me for a little while. What I'm giving him every day is priceless. There's no money he can pay me that will ever be enough because he's heard me talk to 100 agents. He watches me when I get ready to do something. I just don't do it. I think about it, I say it, and then I do it. How many of you just do without ever thinking or saying it? I verbalize everything that I'm going to do before I do it. I practice before I do it. How many of you are in a rush, in a hurry, and that's why you're not getting business? Because you're not thinking. And a lot of people think, but they never do. You have to do all three. Think, say, do. Now, so from 30 to 60 is when you earn. And from 60 forward is when you can either teach people. What do I get up every day? You know, I've been teaching since I was 30, 35, 36. I have become, to me, the best teacher in the United States in the last 6, 7 years. You know, I wish everyone that saw me back when I was 36 to 45 or 45 to 55, I wish those people could see me today. Because I'm not teaching just real estate. I'm teaching how to make money, how to keep money, how to save money, and how to take money and use it as a tool. That's just one thing. But I'm teaching you how to communicate with your children and how to communicate with people, your family. But now, here's the aha of today. This is not Andrew Lacey's statistics. This is from from business. This is what this survey or what the research was done. So what decade is, do I need to flip the page or is it on the right page?
Oh, it's on the right page.
Okay. So if we look on down, what decade are you the most productive in your life? Now, you ready to fall out of your chair? 60 to 70. Well, do you believe that, Andrew? Yeah. I just had one of the best months of my life and I'm 67. I want to play something for you. If I can find the buttons.
Saved voice message. To listen to your messages, press 1.
I received this Friday
To
night.
send a message, press 2. First, saved voice message.
Hey, Andrew, I emailed you this quote, but Andrew, you're not only an incredible real estate coach, you're an incredible life coach. I've been backing coaching for less than 3 months, and I just had my best July in 45 years of selling real estate, closing over $10 million in the sales in a single month. Your guidance, accountability, and encouragement have made a tremendous difference both professionally and personally. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I truly couldn't have done it without your help. I am grateful to have you as my coach and look forward to what the future holds. If you're looking for someone who can help you become a better real estate professional and a better person, I can't recommend Andrew highly enough.
Eric Pruitt. Eric is 68 or 69. And you just had the best July in 45 years of business because you know what? He's learned, he's done it, and now over 60, he's the best in the world. And I'm trying to tell him he does not need to go out there and promise the world. He just needs to tell them, I can get your home sold. And share with them what he's done. I wrote a script for Eric this weekend after hearing that, what he should use for the next 30, 60 days. And it would absolutely spread like wildfire if he would do it. But that's my ability to take any person and take them to the next level, because still no one's got to the level of 300 closings in a year. So I bet I could help him. You know, if you're doing 10 closings a year, 12 closings a year, 15 or 20, it's easier to close 50 than it is to close 10. And nobody believes that till after they get to 50. But every person on this call that's done over 50 will say it's easier to close 50 than it is 10. So 60 to 70 is when a person, you know, most people are quitting at 60. Now I'm not talking about a factory worker. I'm not talking about somebody working at McDonald's or working at Walmart as a greeter. I'm talking about a person that's building a business. They're most productive at 60 or 70. That's the decade number one. The second most productive is 70 to 80. That's going to be Andrew Lacey. The third most productive is 50 to 60. And these people on this call this morning are at 50 or over 50, and they're very productive. But they're even going to be more productive. They're going to continue to get better. What I'm trying to say is today, if you haven't learned, you can't earn. And if you can't earn, you can't become the best. Eric Pruitt is the best. Jody Can is the best. Marie Graziano is going to be the best. Yeah, she's had 81 closings, but it will get better. What time of day is it?
11:32.
I'm going to save how to reach all goals. I wrote a program. Well, in fact, I'll show it to you. But I'm going to save it till next week. It's called Reaching All Goals. And I've had time to think about this a long time. How could I reach the goals of becoming the presidential bodyguard? How could I reach the goals of being one of the top 10 agents in the United States? How could I set a goal of changing people's lives and be able to do it? And it's because of This right here. These three things keep people. And so next week, I will share with you in detail about how you can reach all goals in your business and in your life. I look forward to being in Palm Beach Gardens August the 6th from 10 to 12:30. Let me encourage you to come. Take the step to come see me, and I'll give you the steps you need to become successful. These people work 5 days a week that we heard this morning. I'll be in Charleston on August the 20th. I can't encourage you. I can't emphasize more what it would mean to you and your family if you would just come see me and take a chance on me. Take a chance. Take a chance. Have a great day. Bye-bye.